The message showed as read at exactly 2:46 a.m. I hadn't sent anything. That was the first thing I checked. The second thing I checked was the account. It was one I hadn't used in years. No profile photo. No recent activity. I kept it only because deleting it felt unnecessary. At 2:45 a.m., my phone buzzed once. A notification. A message delivered. I opened the app. The chat window was empty. No text. No image. Just a gray timestamp. Las 2:44 de la mañana. Then, beneath it, one word appeared. Re. Re. I stared at the screen, waiting for something else to load. Nothing did. I checked my sent messages. There was nothing there. At 2:46 a.m., the status updated again. Red. Red. As if someone had opened it twice. I locked my phone and placed it face down. The room was silent. The kind of silence that makes small sounds feel loud. I could hear the hum of the refrigerator from the next room. A minute later, my phone vibrated again. Red. Red. I picked it up. The timestamp had changed. Now it said 2:47 a.m. Still no message. Still no typing indicator. I checked the account profile. The username was unchanged, but the last active line was gone. The next night, it happened again. Las 2:46 de la mañana. Re. Re. This time, I was waiting. The phone was in my hand when the notification arrived. The chat window opened on its own. A new line appeared. Are you awake? I didn't answer. The typing indicator appeared immediately. 3 dots. Then stopped. Red. I blocked the account. The app froze for a moment, then returned to normal. The chat disappeared from my list. At 2:46 a.m., my phone buzzed again. Red. The conversation was back. The message history was longer now. Lines I didn't remember writing. Questions. Short replies. All marked as sent from my account. The timestamps matched nights I'd slept through. I scrolled upward. Crow. No. The first message in the thread was dated 2 weeks earlier. It read, I think it's working. At 2:46 a.m., the typing indicator appeared again. This time, the message came through. You don't need to reply anymore. I deleted the app. The next morning, my phone battery was dead. When it powered back on, there was one notification waiting. Wreath. No app icon. No sender. Just the word. That night at 2:46 a.m., my phone didn't buzz. But when I unlocked it, the screen was already open. The message thread was there. And at the bottom, a new line had appeared. Good. Now, stay that way. The key was on my kitchen table when I got home. I noticed it immediately because I had spent 3 days looking for it. The spare key to my apartment. The one I lost somewhere between work and the station. I had already replaced the lock. I stood in the doorway, staring at the table. The key was placed neatly, parallel to the edge, exactly where I usually left my keys. Primera de Antach Italiano. Instead, I checked the door. The new lock was intact. No scratches, no signs of forced entry. I left the apartment and called the building manager. He confirmed no one had entered my unit. When I returned, the key was still there. I picked it up. It was heavier than I remembered. The metal felt colder too. I turned it over. The grooves were slightly different. Not wrong enough to be obvious, just enough that I felt it in my fingers. That night, I placed the key in a drawer and closed it. At 1:58 a.m., I woke to a soft sound, metal touching wood. I opened the drawer. The key was gone. I found it the next morning on the shoe rack by the door. I moved it again. This time, I locked it in a small box. The following night, I dreamed of standing in front of my door. I held the key and tried to insert it into the lock. It didn't fit. But the door opened anyway. When he woke up, the box was open. The key was back on the table. I decided to test it. I took the key to the door and held it up to the lock. It didn't fit. The grooves were wrong. I stepped back. Hey, the handle turned slightly on its own, not enough to open, just enough to show that it could. I didn't sleep that night. The next day, I threw the key away, dropped it into a public trash bin on my way to work. That evening, when I came home, the key was waiting for me. This time, it was in the lock. Not inserted, just resting there. I checked the door from the outside. It was unlocked. Inside, nothing was missing. Nothing was disturbed, except for the table. On it lay my old key, the one that actually fit. Beside it was the other one, the wrong one. That night, I left the apartment and stayed at a hotel. When I returned days later, the locks had been changed again. The table was empty. For a while, nothing happened. Then, one night, I heard the sound of a key turning in a lock. Not at my door. Inside my apartment. From the bedroom. I don't keep spare keys anymore. But sometimes, when I come home, I check the table first, just to be sure nothing has come back. Before I